Good morning and welcome to day 9 of Vlogtober. I'm on my way to work because on Fridays I go to work, unless I'm working from home, in which case I go to work but at my kitchen table. We're a bit wobbly this morning because my camera's not behaving itself, so I'm going to shut up and I'm going to flip the camera around and film you some of my journey in the beautiful autumn morning that we've got here.
Sometimes what you want ain't what you need. Sometimes letting go can make your heart bleed. Sometimes the road ahead seems dark as night. Have some faith in yourself, that's the guiding light. You should know that when your dreams have hit the ceiling and fallen back down on the ground, let me tell you, I know the feeling. I used to live in that town. One door closes, another swings open. That's life, and not to dwell upon the darkest hour, they say, is just before dawn. You might take a fall, but you can bounce right back.
I have arrived at work and it's only 8:30 and I'm quite surprised because I left a little bit later than I would normally, and I seem to get stuck behind every bus and cyclist that there were on the roads this morning. The car park's quite quiet as well, so I'm assuming it's just not a busy working day for people at the moment. The grounds are really changing colour now. There's a spectacular orange and gold and red trees, and it's very hard to film at work and in the grounds because obviously it's a hospital, so they've got to be very careful with privacy and so on. The song of the day today. Okay, so I had an idea of what the song of the day was going to be. In fact, Dan was going to choose it, but we've changed it because, now who was it that left the night? Karina yesterday in the comments suggested David Gray, and I hadn't got any David Gray at all on our list of like planned songs, and we realized that that was a terrible omission because we actually had a David Gray song as our first dance at our wedding. We had Be Mine by David Gray. That was our first dance after we got married, Dan and I. And but that's not the song of the day, so I chose the song that probably brings back the most memories from my, must have been in my 20s, and that would be Babylon. So I'm going to add that to the playlist now. I actually saw Babylon. I don't know if anybody remembers, but David Gray it used to be him, and he had this guy, this accompanist that used to play like all the percussion and the drums, and he used to sit there really hunched over playing the drums like this. Anyway, I saw David Gray and his percussionist playing it live at Broadcasting House at the top of Regent Street in London, as it was then. It's Wogan House now, and there was me in an audience of maybe about 50 other people, and it was a recording for a radio show and they were doing interviews, and he happened to be the musical guest, and yeah, so I've seen that song live. So today's song is Babylon, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a very good Friday song. What else have I got to babble on about before I go into work? Right, someone pulled up next to me, so I had to pretend like I wasn't talking to myself in the car. I've just been reading through some of your comments from yesterday before I go in, and there's loads of comments about Clan of the Cave Fair. So funny. So I chose and there's loads of comments about Salt to the Sea as well. So thank you everyone for sharing your views and letting me know if you've read them or not. I chose to read Salt to the Sea, and I started it properly last night, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm prepared for it to be quite tragic and sad, but I feel like it's a story I want to know about, the true story that surrounds it. And Clan of the Cave Bear really had me gripped in the first few pages as well, but I think I was a bit daunted by the length. And then a lot of you are saying it's actually part of a series, so I went and looked it up, and oh my goodness. But this really appealed to Dan, and it's his kind of sort of story. And he looked out a couple of books last night. I can't remember what they were called, but it was another series of books. I think it's about another 6 books set in that period of time. I'll get him to tell me what the name of it is, and I'll put it on the screen just in case any of you recognise it. But I think he's going to read Clan of the Cave Bear, because he's just about finished the book he's reading, so he's going to steal Clan of the Cave Bear for me, and he reads a lot quicker than me. So hopefully by the time I've finished Salt to the Sea, he'll have finished that first book, and then I can read it. Unless by that time I'm in the mood. It might be Christmas by then, so I'll probably be in the mood for something Christmassy. I might have to read my every year I read A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and I've got a lovely copy that was a gift from my friend Gaynor, that she gave me last year, so I'm looking forward to having that this year. Right, I really am rabbiting on, so I need to go and get into work now.
When your dreams have hit the ceiling and falling back down on the ground, let me tell you, I know the feeling. I used to live in that town.
Whew, oh, it looks like I've got some kind of spectre next to me. It's my coat. I've just hung it on the seat to stop it from...
Phone 3 ready.
Phone 3 is ready, just in case you were worried. Didn't forget my mask today. My sock has fallen down inside my boot. Don't you hate it when that happens? I don't know why it's done that. I think it's these boots. They've got like a suede lining, and I think it... You don't need to know this. Let me just sort my sock out and I'll get back to you. Right, sock is sorted. I'm going to get Sarah Cox on the radio. It's Friday, so it's all request Friday, which I love because it means it's Friday. And what else happens on Friday? Pizza night. It's pizza night, which means I don't have to think about what to cook, which is always a good thing. Plus I love pizza. Plus there will also be Prosecco, because I've had it in my head this week that I want Prosecco on Friday night. So that's what I'm going to have. So I'm going to get my lights on, get my windscreen wipers on, get the radio on, and head home. It's actually getting dark. Autumn is coming. Well, it's here really, isn't it? You know what I mean.
One door closes, another swings open. That's life, and not to dwell upon the darkest hour, they say, is just before dawn. You might take a fall, but you can bounce right back.
It's 6:05 and I'm still on my way home. I've been driving now for just over an hour. This is how it goes sometimes. Most of the time I can do the journey in half an hour. It's not really a problem. I did leave a little bit later than I normally would. I would normally leave sort of nearer to sort of 20 to 5, but I left about 5 today. And I've just caught the traffic, so I've got stuck. I only work about 15 miles from home. South London for you, that is. I've got a man in a van behind me. It's right up my bumper, even though we've been sat in traffic like practically stationary traffic. We're only moving every so often. We're in a huge long line. And he's been right up my bumper. Every time we just skedaddle forward a little bit, he's right there. I don't know where he thinks he's gonna go. Like magically through me or something. I don't know. So I thought I'd just start talking to the camera and really confuse him. Why is that girl in front of me talking to herself in that camera? There's a chance that I might be going a bit doolally after all this driving. Oh look, I've gone red from the brake lights in front of me. I've got Prosecco in the fridge.
Let me tell you, I know the feeling. I used to live in that town. One door closes and another swings open. That's life, and let it dwell upon the darkest hour. They say it's just before dawn. Yeah. When your dreams have hit the ceiling and falling back down on the ground, let me tell you, I know the feeling. I used to live in that town. One door closes and another swings open. That's life, and let it dwell upon the darkest hour. They say it's just before dawn. The darkest hour, they say, it's just before dawn. Just before dawn.